Algebra equations with variables on both sides. This is a digital lesson, and it explains on slide 2 that it requires some steps to follow in order to move the variable to one side of the equal sign. So we're going to take the coefficient of the variable with the least value. So the first thing they're going to ask the students is which one of these variables has the least value, and they're just going to type that in. 2 is less than 10, this one. 3 is less than 7, and negative 5 is less than 10. So they're going to type that in. Now the next slide shows how to do this. So we identify the variable that has the least value, and then they're going to type in the opposite. So 2x has the least value. The opposite of 2x would be negative 2x. And so we're going to add negative 2x to both sides of the equal sign. What that does is it eliminates one of the variables. And it changes the equation so that there's only one variable. So now we have 4 equals 8x negative 12, and now we just have a two-step equation to solve. So again, which has the least value, 3x. The opposite would be negative 3x. So we're going to add that negative 3x to both sides, and we end up with negative 6 equals 4x negative 22. So now we just have a two-step equation to solve. So students are going to do that on the next slide. And then when they get to slide 7, here they're going to go ahead and solve the equation. So the variable with the least value would be 2x. So we're going to take the opposite, negative 2x. That gives us a new equation of 3 equals 6x negative 15. Now we're going to go ahead and solve it. Here we want to isolate the term that has the variable. We want 6x to be alone on one side of the equal sign. So we're going to get rid of the negative 15 by adding 15 to both sides. We always take the opposite operation when we want to eliminate something. So here we have 18 equals 6x. Now I just have a two-step equation to solve. I'm going to divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals 3. So students are going to be doing that on the next few slides. This one I'm going to go ahead and solve because I want to show how the students are going to check their answer. So here the least value would be negative 3x. The opposite would be a positive 3x. So if I add 3x to both sides, I'm going to get 3 equals 12x negative 21. And then I want to isolate the term that includes the variable, so I'm going to get rid of this negative 21 by doing the opposite of adding 21 to both sides. Now I get 24 equals 12x. I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 12 to isolate my variable. The opposite of multiplying by 12 would be to divide by 12, and I end up with an answer of x equals 2. So students are going to be doing that on the next 3 slides. Now we're going to check our answer. So students, go back to slide 8. The answer, the solution was x equals 2. So I'm just going to type that in. The solution was 2. Now I want to check my answer. So I'm going to go back to my original equation. I'm going to replace the x with 2. And this is just a reminder here. This is multiplication. Anytime you have a number right next to a variable, it's multiplication. Same thing here. So I'm going to get negative 6 plus 3 gives me negative 3 over here. 18 negative 21 is also negative 3. So if these come out equal, students know they have the right answer. If it's not coming out equal, they're going to click on go back takes them back to slide 8, and they have to work on solving this again and find their mistake. So they're going to do that, checking the answer here from slide 9, from slide 10, and from slide 11, checking their answers. Now when they get down to slide 16, this is drag and drop vocabulary. They're just going to click and hold on the edge of these and move them into place in the sentence frames. So that is the digital lesson, equations with variables on both sides.